there's nobody intertwined with the 96 Bulls. And when Michael Jordan comes back from his retirement, which itself was a cultural zeitgeist moment, losing his father, going to play baseball, and then simply announcing with the Sports Illustrated cover, "I'm back." And that excitement, he returns in spring of 95. That's my junior year of high school. And then, of course, the 95-96 Bulls is my senior year in high school, which was such an exciting time because that's where I had such an incredible team basketball experience with the guys I grew up playing with and had an incredible ride. Watching the 96 Bulls, and you heard me say this earlier in the show tied to Jokic, you heard me say this last week tied to the greatness of Steph Curry. It was appointment television to watch and consume the greatness of Michael Jordan as he came back to basketball. So he gave us like the perfect tease taste during the brief return in 95, the 55 at the Garden, buzzer beaters, some playoff excitement where they ultimately fall to Orlando. You knew his gamesmanship was still there when he changes his jersey number to 45 to 23 in the middle of the playoffs to let Orlando know, like, I'm still here. I don't have the spring in my step yet.
Yeah.
So by the time 96 comes around, it's MJ rested with a chip on his shoulder and ready to go. And I shouldn't say rested as in he sat around all offseason, like on a mission with Tim Grover, back on it. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman is brought in, Tony Kukoc is playing at a high level, Ron Harper, Luke Longley, Randy Brown, and all the rest. What is the biggest thing for you that stands out about the cultural impact of the 96 Bulls? We know the record, we know the beginnings of the second three-peat, but from a cultural lens, Bob, what stands out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I think, 92 Dream Team in the Olympics is the catalyst behind the globalization of the popularity of not just basketball as a sport, but basketball as a participatory sport. And that's the sort of genesis of where we are now, 2024, where it's the number one, across the board for people actively having a ball in their hand and playing, not just being spectators. And I think 96 is equal, if not greater, because it sort of pits Jordan for the first time since he was in high school, not making varsity, as the underdog. And, I think the script that plays out from there paints him as the ultimate champion and really it amplifies the effectiveness of the NBA to encourage and inspire and motivate people to play basketball. And Jordan being on the top and being that figure where he is like face to face with Michael Jackson as the most popular person in the world. I mean, it's insane at that point. And what it does for the sport is it just helps it evolve. And I don't think as great as Hakeem was and the Rockets and their great backcourt of New York players with Kenny Smith and Mario Elie, the Knicks teams that lose. I mean, the first three-peat for the Bulls, the Detroit Pistons, none of them have the global impact on the game that the 96 Bulls do.